purple wire at? Oh, hello there. Welcome back to the Henson.com podcast. My name is Steve, facilities engineer here on the lot at the Jim Henson Company. And this is the Jim Henson Company Intern Podcast Challenge Thingamawhatnot.
Wake up in the morning, get yourself to work. Fraggles never fool around, Fraggles never shirk. Your duty's always waiting, duty must be done. There's ping pong games that must be played and songs that must be sung.
Now, you might remember in our last episode, the interns pitched a short puppet podcast idea to the Henson staff, who chose one of those ideas to produce. The winner was Pan, okay? The interns then had a budget of $100 to create puppets for their shoot. Now, to help them build the puppets, we sent them over to Jim Henson's creature shop to talk to fabricator Julie Zobel, whom I have a crush on. She knows.
We're here at the creature shop and we're about to show two of our puppets in progress to Julie. She's someone who works here. And this is the character of the mayor of Olympus. And this is the character of Pan. He's our hero. And personally, we're pretty nervous and excited, I think. Or, I don't know. Excited to see what she says and what she has to say and what advice she might have for us on the project.
These are our interns, and you guys have made some puppets, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I see I've got a couple right here. Norma, tell me about your puppet.
This is the mayor of Olympus, our little city. It's kind of based on real Olympus, but not actual Mount Olympus of the gods. The god is hanging out there. And this is Pan, our protagonist, and he's very cheerful and happy with his young curly hair.
Very good. And did you guys do some research on puppets before you made this first attempt?
Basically just use Google and some YouTube tutorials, but that was about it.
You both have lots of really good features here. Your eyes are really good, and you've got working mouths, which not everybody knows how to do, and you've got youth here, and yeah, why don't you put yours on, and an older fellow here. I like his ears. I like that you both have captured some character here, and that's really important in building puppets. And you did get your fabric over your what we call a mouth plate, so that you can close the mouth and it looks like a closed mouth. You guys did great. And one of the things that we do when we build a puppet is we make the head we make it separate from the body usually. Because then when it's on what we call a neck sleeve, and that goes down into the body, and then you get a lot of range of motion between the head and the body. So that's one thing that if I was teaching you to make puppets, I would say you might want to change that so you have a little more, that the neck would be maybe a little longer, and maybe there would be a split, or the neck would go down inside a body, so that your body has not quite so twisty.
Yeah. They kind of have this like chapped lip effect with the glue that we used.
What kind of glue did you use?
It was a pretty basic craft glue that said it was good for fabrics and everything else, so that's just what I decided to go with. But
yeah, and you can use that. It's sort of runny,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. So the trick, if you are using that kind of glue, is to paint your surface of the mouth, the black mouth area, and then paint the inside of the fabric that's going over that, and let it get tacky, and then put it over. And you'd maybe want to paint it on with a little cheap paintbrush, so you can control it and maybe not have too much. If it comes straight out of the bottle, sometimes it just kind of comes out.
Yeah.
right.
I guess my last question would be, for little touch-ups and things, is Sharpie okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Sharpie,
Yay.
yes. Yeah, well, and yes, to try to cover up
Yeah.
the glue, yes. Unfortunately, because it's felt, it is hard to to get that off without really damaging it.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons we use fleece because we use fleece a lot because you can sort of brush up the fibers and then you can trim them off and it looks nice and fresh and new. And so fleece is a very forgiving fabric, which is, and when you stitch it together with a very particular stitch with the raw edges butted together, the seam goes away. I mean, Kermit has a seam right down the middle of his head. You don't really see it.
Wow.
So we love fleece.
For
Questions?
moving the arms, would you suggest putting just regular wires on and doing it that way?
Yes. Yes, and usually the wire goes into the wrist here, and before you put it in, open it up enough that you have room. If you take the wire and let's see if this one has been, well, this one is only bent with a loop at the end so it doesn't poke through the finger. When we have fingers in our puppets, so we put that into the first finger so it kind of controls the whole hand. And if you're going to point, then our hands usually have a little wire in them. And then we can bend the fingers and you can point or you can do a gesture. But this is a finger we use a lot. So, but the other thing we do with this, if we have a puppet, for instance, an animal that has more of a paw instead of fingers, we will, instead of bending a loop, we'll bend it into a little square. And then you can cover both sides with a double stick tape and put it in there, and it's pretty solid for movement. Wow.
So here's Hades, and this is his minion, Virginius.
Those are the two villains of the story.
This one?
Yes.
And this one. Wow. Okay. Those are really fun. And I like the expression here. You're going to get some, and I love the eyebrows. Those nice, really.
I wanted a lot of sharp points in it to make it look more intimidating. That character is going to be like a Cupid, but an evil Cupid, where he's like really cute and everything, but he has horns and kind of bat wings, and his eyes are red, and he's just real mischievous, and he's just kind of like, he makes real like goofy like faces, and he's the lackey of Hades.
I will say that in both of your sketches here, I notice this character has sort of a smile, and this character has a pronounced frown.
Yes.
And when you're making a mouth, it can be hard when you haven't made lots of puppets to create a mouth that isn't just straight across. This one is carving, and so I think you'll be more successful perhaps with that. But it does provide you with some interesting challenges when you have a mouth that has a very particular shape. It will only do that shape. It's not going to change. When you have a flat mouth and a soft-ish palate inside, your hand can give it some of those expressions. So when are you guys doing your last two puppets?
Over the next couple of weeks, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're gonna.
And then are you going to do a little show with them?
Yes, we're filming a podcast.
Oh, good. So Grant, behind the camera over there, will be doing a podcast of your show?
Yes.
Cool. I can't wait to see it. Well, if you have any questions, call me.
Okay.
And good luck.
Wow, looks like the puppets are really coming along. Not bad for a $100 budget. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Next time we'll get to see the finished product. From the Jim Henson Company lot in Hollywood, California, this is Steve, the facilities engineer, saying see you next time. Green, blue, yellow, red, more green, blue, red. What's that?